Hey, long time no gab. Yeah. My aid worker lost all my hats somehow. I don't know how she hid them from me, but they're hid in the house from me. So this is the only hat that I have. It is the world's most uncomfortable hat, and it's one of them cutesy novelty hats. I think you can read it probably, but if you can't, it says on there somewhere "Kiss my bass," and then it's got the bass on there. Which I saw a shirt that I liked that had a great white shark, a realistic looking great white shark, and it said, "Please be my chum." I thought that was pretty funny. I would buy that shirt, but I don't know. I think it was specially made by, it was merch from one of these YouTube fishing channels. So, yeah, you may be wondering about my prolonged absence, are you? But mostly I was getting tired of not having anything to talk about. So I was like, I got to do something to have something to talk about. So I'm not talking about nasty personal habits, nasty personal afflictions, my basic pessimistic, though stoic outlook on life, and pursuing various philosophical questions. This is not scintillating entertainment, people. So it's like, I gotta do something. So I was like, well, I'll get the aid worker and we'll take the blue scooter and I'll ride that dangerous fucking thing around. And then I have something to talk about. Well, the thing of it is I got a four-wheel scooter that's got hard plastic tires. For some reason, it never occurred to me because it's in carpet for one thing. If you leave any vehicle with inner tubes and regular tires sit for 2 years, you're going to have a flat tire. So you can see where this story is going. Nowhere, which is where I went when I got on the scooter. Nowhere. I like, this feels weird. Why is this making this weird noise in the hallway? It still hadn't clicked, and then I was like, got it onto the porch, and I'm like, why does it feel like I'm riding with my like right cheek heavy here? It's like, why is this like this? And then my aid worker was like, you got a flat tire. I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, I think I got a bicycle pump in the closet, and then I was like, nah, I gave that away. I'm always giving shit away because I'm stupid. So no, I don't have a bicycle pump because I don't didn't ride my electric bike anymore, and I didn't even know that those were tires on there because the other one has hard plastic tires. So I thought the 40 mile an hour one also had plastic tires, or I just didn't think of it, or just didn't think to check. And plus, when they're little tiny like tires like that, so you put shag carpet in there, you can't exactly tell that they're sitting flat. They look like they're sitting with part of them because it's a heavy thing stuck in the carpet. So yeah, that was highly disappointing. And then there was no way to inflate it. And then my aid worker threw a bicycle pump the next day through the window. So I had the tires inflated uh, for today. Well, that was last week. The next time she was over, I felt like death. I wasn't up to doing anything. So I was like, she's gonna come by in a couple of days, so we'll do it then, which was today. And today I just felt again horrible, and my heart was untrustworthy, and I was like, shit. Plus, she had a bad back, and if something went wrong with that scooter, she would end up having to push it home while I'm hobbling home with a cane, or that'd be like the only alternative. She's 68. It's very would be a very cruel thing to do. Um, so I was like, nah. Anyways, so when the tires were flat, this is how dangerous this stupid fucking thing is. When the tires were flat, because they were flat, and I had it in complete idle where it just put put puts along, I had the throttle turned all the way down. And it doesn't have a turtle and a rabbit like my cute little other motor scooter does that goes supposed to go 5.3 miles an hour, but I think tops out at around 3. It seems like if I was healthy, I could get out and walk faster than that scooter rolls. This is scooter I'm talking about. It don't have no rabbit and a turtle thing. It's not cute. It goes 40 miles an hour. It's dangerous. So, I got the throttle turned all the way down, and it's got a flat tire, and it's heavy, and I weigh 200 pounds, and it weighs probably 200 pounds. So it won't go up this ramp. So I'm like, I almost said her name, but I'm like, aid worker, I think I'm going to have to turn the throttle up. And so just kind of get out of the way. So I turned the throttle up, and I had it like turned a little bit sideways on the ramp. I just turned it up just the slightest little bit, as little as I could. It rockets sideways, slams into the front door, slams the front door into the house. The front wheel goes off of the ramp, and it hits on the frame, and the wheel's just spinning in space like this. And I'm just stuck there because the wheels turn this way. I can't get off on this side because I just can't, because that's my bad leg side. I just it was like I can't get off that way. I have to get off this way because I could step on the level ground and not off a ramp. And so I had to like wrench the thing around, and then we pushed it into the house. And anyways, I wanted to do that today, and then tell you how it went and have something to talk about instead of just fishing around making up things to talk about. Um, but while she was here, my friend called, and I'm going to go fishing on Saturday. So I'm going to talk to him before then, and maybe he can help me with the whole scooter thing because my friend and my brother will be there. And I only need like 10 minutes, just to get it. I'll have it ready to go. Just to take it out, roll it down the ramp, and see if I can get it into the parking lot down there. They can walk alongside me, and I'll try to keep it in complete idle as long as possible before I open it up. I'm going to need some room to open it up to see exactly what I'm dealing with, because I don't know why it's like that. I talked to somebody that said that electric cars can go like 0 to 60 faster than gas powered cars, and electric motors have a tendency to accelerate really quickly. I don't know how, if they knew what they were talking about or not, but that's what they said. So, uh, yeah, as far as what's going on in the building, is it's pretty nice to live here. Too bad it wasn't like this for about 5 years. During the 5 years that my health turned to shit, because this place was a nightmare to live in. It's hard to believe, like living here now, what this place was like, you know. And um, my 68-year-old aid worker forgets things that I tell her. So she's like, "That greenhouse next door is empty. Why is it empty?" And I already told her, like, the guy had little kids and a meth cookhouse opened up across the street, you know. And I told her, like, yeah, what this neighborhood was like, and you know how things were in this building, how utterly insane they were for so long. I'm like, I didn't even have to leave my house to get involved in crazy bullshit. It's just got, it would come to my door and introduce itself and shake my hand. "Oh, I'm crazy bullshit. I'm going to be taking up most of your day today." You know, just, you can call me CB for short. But anyways, I got a lot of energy and a broke leg, so yeah, this could be a long video, and I haven't talked um, on here for a while. Not that a whole lot has happened, because a whole lot of nothing has happened. Um, I can talk about my medication situation, which is, uh, it's funny. I probably didn't mention this before because I haven't been on here for a while, but I've been meaning to, shall we say, dig up uh, my Valium reserves for a while. Well, the cat did it for me. That's a good place to hide things, in an unused litter box. Well, he decided to use the litter box, so he dug up uh, my blue 10 milligram pills and threw them into the bathtub. So I just walk in the bathroom one day, and there's just a bag of pills in the bathtub, and I'm like, because the litter box is between the sink and the bathtub, and because there's no room in the bathroom. So I'm just like, okay, it didn't take me long to put together what happened, even though we did a good job covering up the stuff. I'm like, why are you thinking, why are you? I was really kind of mad because I was like, why are you using the litter box when the window's open? I think all he wants to do is die like me. All he wants to do is just be shut of this existence because, like, he did this shit last year. He's still alive and stuff, but he did this last year where he's like, I just want to hang around the house, not go outside, and be an indoor cat and just eat around and lay around and wait to die. And then, like, I was like, no, you're not. I'm throwing you outside because I can't deal with you. You're jumping on the microwave. You're jumping where I prepare my food after using the litter box. Every morning I get to wake up to the delightful odors from you. And yeah, I'm kind of tired of the whole situation. So you're going to be an outside cat. Uh, so I threw him outside. And then he was like healthy and strong and like the boss of the neighborhood and everything. And I had to coax him. It got really cold out, so I had to coax him to come back inside. I told that story, of course, before that it was like in the single digits outside. And I had to coax him to come inside, and he wouldn't come inside. He was just sitting in the window because I hadn't fed him, but he was used to coming to a bell that I would ring to get his food in the back. But I just rang it in the front. So he's like, where's my fucking food? And I'm like, it's in here. I'm like, come on, you can come in. And he just like, no, I'm not coming in. So I went in the bedroom and just left the window open. And then I came back out and he's just sitting in the kitchen. And then I'm like, okay, man, how you doing? And he's just looking at me. And then he looked at me for a while. And then he was like, fuck you. And then he did like a big loop around me. And very deliberately and very slowly jumped back out in 8-degree weather. He was like, 8-degree weather or hanging out with you. You threw me out in this weather. He held a grudge. But anyways, he dug up my pills for me. So I should have been. Those are my oldest volumes, so I should be using those, and they're still good. I don't know when they were prescribed to me. I have no idea. Um, it was kind of funny. I had to dig up the other pills that I had stashed in the litter box by hand, and I was expecting them to be something else, and they were something else. So I was like, oh, this is where the Xannies that I never take are stashed. So I just put them back in the litter. So, and so now anybody that, yeah, everybody knows where 42 Xanax are. I don't care. Come here so I can kill you. Yeah, seriously, don't come here because I will have to kill you. I don't want to do that. Anyways, yeah, so life is continues to be very stupid and puzzling. Is I have a whole bunch of energy and like a broke leg. It's just horrible. I feel like Jimmy Stewart in the Rear Window, which I watched a weird remake of. Like, it's called The Woman in the Window. It's like brand new, starring Amy Adams. I'm like, this is a rip off of Rear Window. She's a voyeur that she may or may not be witnessing a murder. They just threw in a couple of twists, like she's got a mental illness. She's got like mental issues from a past tragedy, whereas Jimmy Stewart was just a pervo. So, anyways, I feel like that. Just, I'm in a cage in this prison of flesh, like running back and forth like a monkey. Don't know what to do with himself. Um, I have been sorting through my football cards, and I have been actually buying more football cards, and I'm planning to begin selling them because Baker Mayfield cards are like red hot right now, and they will continue to heat up. But in the process, I can I have to get used to like printing out shipping labels, which I do. I would just take them to the post office and have them weigh them out, but labels, and I can weigh them out here on the scale over here that I got, postal scale, and do it all from home. So I should do a couple of test sales like I've been meaning to do forever, but have no ambition. Do I have to shut the window? There's construction outside. A lawnmower and some banging. Maybe it's not construction. Um, but yeah, Baker Mayfield cards are selling like nutso. Like 10 2018 Prisms went for about $600 the other day. I have 13 of them. So, and they're just going to keep climbing. And a funny thing that I learned, like, because the hobby's changed, I was into it in 2006. But the funny thing that I learned was like the best time to sell stuff is before the season starts. It didn't even make any sense from a logic point of view, but it's like you could get more for the cards that I had if you sold them before the Brown season started than after the Brown season, where they went 11-5 and they went to the playoffs, won a playoff game, and almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs and made it into the AFC title game. And Baker had established himself as a winning quarterback. Well, his cards dropped from like around 100, the cards in question, from around $100 a piece to between 60 and 70, 60 and $80 a piece. I was like, shouldn't they go up? He was shit last year. But it's all about hype and expectation, so you sell the shit before the season starts. And, the downside to that is, say the Browns actually do go to the Super Bowl, so you're better off, like, then you're fucked. Then you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Because then your cards would be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Which I had the opposite of that happen, which this really made me sick. And I don't like thinking about it, but I had a bunch of this. This is before Tom Brady became Tom Brady, but I had uh, buku Tom Brady rookie cards. I actually went through like a Rolodex in my head, and I came out with $30,000. If I had them today, they would be worth $30,000. But in 2007, the Patriots were on the verge of a perfect season. So I thought, gee, why don't I make some money and sell them right after the Super Bowl? All of them. And, I was sure that they were going to beat the Giants because the Giants just weren't that good. And the Patriots were just like pasting people all year. They were 17-0. And I'm like, there's no way the Giants are going to beat them. So I sold all my Brady cards. They lost. My Brady cards sold for cheap. There was no crazy, uh, you know, drunk buying. That's what I was counting on, was the drunk buy, like the drunk vote. Where people are just like, fuck it, man, $200. That's Super Bowl, yay! And then they wake up and they realize, what the fuck did I do? Oh, I was fucking around on eBay. God damn it. You know, I did that with Drew Brees now when Drew Brees won the Super Bowl and I made a lot of money. But I sold all these cards and I can still see some of the cards in my head that I had. And then I was like, I had uh, Star Rookies card, and I had like the Upper Deck card, and I had the Bowman card. And looking up all these cards, and I'm like, $30,000, man. If I just would have held on to the cards, $30,000. But that's the chance you take. And yeah, it's sort of like, it happens all the time though. You just have to think of it this way. You made your profit. You could have made a whole lot more profit, but you made your profit, and you can't. You made your profit, and you're not a prophet. You can't tell the future. So it's all good. Uh, do I? It just was a crazy upset. Guy had a Velcro on. He cheated. He had Velcro on his helmet, and he reached back behind him and somehow caught a football on like 3rd and 23 or something like that. And like David Tyree, his one claim to fame is he caught a football by reaching way behind him like this and pinning it against his helmet while being hit. Making this most miraculous catch in the Super Bowl ever. And so they, go down and they get the winning touchdown to a guy named Plaxico, named after his mom's favorite plastic. Uh, I should have said Tupperware. But anyways, Plaxico Burress, who would later become famous for carrying a gun into a nightclub and accidentally shooting somebody and ending up in jail. I think the gun actually fell and hit the ground. Literally, like, he was dancing with a gun on him, I think, and the gun fell out and hit the floor and shot somebody. I'll have to look it up. Or he may have shot himself. I'll have to look that up for you. He may have actually, it may even be more ridiculous than that. He may have shot himself with his own gun and had to go to jail for like bringing a gun into a nightclub in New York City, which was a big no no. And, that would be like firing a gun within city limits too. But I think the fact that it was in a crowded nightclub kind of disturbed people. But I think he might have shot himself. I'll have to research that. I'll put a link to us the story of it. But anyways, so yeah, I got a lot of energy and nothing to do with it, but run my ever fucking gob, same as always. And I just get tired of being like that. I get tired of like coming on here and talking about stupid shit like my masturbatory habits and just dumb stuff. So I was like, I'm not getting on here until I have something interesting to talk about. I was like, okay, I can learn how to ride my scooter and talk about how that goes. Maybe I'll crash into a car or hit a pedestrian or run over a child, since there's like a child school like right next to where I'm going to ride the scooter. Maybe have something to talk about, but no. Just had flat tires and ran my scooter into my door and smashed into my building. Um, but yeah, I am going to do that. I'm determined to do that. Is learn how to ride it in the parking lot enough to where I can get on this big road. That's, you can look it up if you need to on Google. Lincoln Way turns into Tusk from Maslin to Canton. And I could even post a link to the route that I'm going to take. Like anybody gives a fuck. It's just a big ass road. It's like the main drag. And I'm going to go on a Sunday morning. Should be sometime in June. And drive my scooter all the way to my brother's house. From one city to another. Just mainly down that one road. And all I have to do is learn how to steer that scooter straight. You cannot flip over a trike. So there's not going to be a problem there. And there's not going to be a problem with traffic, because I'll be in the slow lane and they can just go around me, and it's going to be on a Sunday morning, and just ride it all the way to my brother's house, stash it over there, and then when I can get over to my brother's house, I can learn how to ride it better in a safer environment, because he lives in the suburbs. But once I get it there, I'll have to call a cab and then take a cab home from my brother's house. Um, because he does not get up in the mornings. So he's not going to be up. And plus, I'm not going to give him a chance to change his mind. He told me I could store that over there. He's been changing his mind on me a lot about things. Not a lot, but too damn much. He changes his mind and tells me one thing and then reneges. Like, you can live with me. No, I'll use your EBT card and help you out with without costing me any money. No, it's like, here, I'm gonna jam this scooter down your fucking throats, down your yard, not down your throat. It's gonna appear in your yard one day, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And I don't even give a fuck, because I paid less than $600 for it, and I have enough money to buy a new one. I'm thinking about paying the rent 5 months in advance instead of 4 months in advance. I'm flush, people. I'm well healed. So yeah, I don't even care. He told me that he would be no big deal to store it there, and I just have to figure out how to get. It has like a trunk area underneath the seat. I have to be able to get the tarp over there. So I even when I talked to my friend today, I mentioned it. I'm like, it'll be a lot easier than you said you'd have to like borrow a trailer to attach to your truck, and you know one of those things for like lawn mowers, and it's just be much easier to ride it over there. And he was of course relieved, because he's been very very busy lately. So, but he said I could go fishing today, I could go fishing Saturday or Monday. Today it is going to be 87 degrees, which I am not used to 87 degrees. If you're in some place below the Mason-Dixon line, think 105, because that's what it's going to be like. Um, you know, I'm up by the Canadian border here, so 87 is hot. It's going to be 88 tomorrow. It's going to be 85 when we go fishing on Saturday. But I didn't really feel good today, or I would have took the scooter out today. So I was like, we'll go Saturday. I have been itching to go. I can get my camera off my brother, which I'm sure he has done absolutely nothing with it. He's gone fishing like 5 times since I gave it to him. So I'll get it off of him when I go fishing with him on Saturday. It's not really a GoPro, but I just said GoPro. It's an imitation GoPro. It's a GoPro Lite. It's like called a Velasky or something like that, or something with a VL at the beginning. Classic Pickle. I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyways, it's the same damn thing except for cheaper. I paid $32 for it, which is like really cheap for one of those cameras. $32 for the camera and the SD something card that you take the video out, store it, and put it in your computer. I have to drink water. My throat's bothering me. But no, I felt it yesterday. I lifted weights yesterday. It's the first time I tried that in a while. I actually broke. I have like because it's difficult for me to like lean over at the waist and do butterflies. I had like an elastic, stretchy Pilates band type thing. It broke the last time I used it and snapped me in the hand like a rubber band. I was like, fuck, because you're pulling it apart, stretching it like a rubber band. I was looking for it like for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes before I was like, oh yeah, I broke that thing. How can I forget? I was like, I snapped myself in the hand. I used to, it was fraying a little bit, and I used to get definition to get definition, you want to do more reps. So I would do like the curl exercises to get bulk, and then I would do repetition exercises using that band where you're just doing this like 30, 40, 50 times. And I was like thinking all the time that I'm doing that, like, what happens if this band breaks and it whips up and snaps me in the face? Because you're standing on it, and I've had it slip when I was standing on it before, and it is not a fun experience. It's not like getting stung with a rubber band, really. It's a little bit like getting shot with a BB gun without the penetration. It hurts. So yeah, I whacked myself good with it once when it slipped out from underneath my foot, but I used to think about it breaking, and I'm like, yeah, I better wear glasses. Yeah. Anyways, so I believe I told you in the last video, which I'm sure you don't remember, but Lyrica. I took Lyrica once. I don't remember why I quit taking it, because it was a few years ago when I was taking it. I remember thinking like the benefits did not outweigh whatever it was doing to me, and I think I remember thinking that I didn't like the way it made me feel, but it wasn't like a big deal type of thing. Well, I had one of the worst nights of my life because, first of all, I should not have eaten before I went to sleep. And don't worry, it's not going there. But I just had like searing shot in the stomach with a 22 gas pains, like real bad gas pains. That's how my night started. I was like, oh, that was stupid. I ate like spicy teriyaki noodles, like as a bedtime snack. That's intelligent. And then I took the Pregabalin or Lyrica. It's behind. I'll show you what it looks like if you haven't ever seen it. Well, or not. I got way too much energy. It's like being a monkey in a cage. But they gave me this little bottle of them. to start out with. And then after a week, you switch to the big bottle. Got a whole shitload of these, so if I need to kill myself, I'm good to go. I got all kind of pills all over this goddamn place. Let's take them all at once. I think about that, and I'm like, I don't like the whole idea of doing that because it's like, what if I just like, blah, like I don't need syrup of Ipecac. I just get a weird cocktail, and I just don't want to do that for a few reasons. But anyways, back to the story at hand. I took this, and I took one of those and just one 100 milligram gabapentin together, and I think I took 2.5 milligrams of Valium, thinking that I would go to sleep, you know. And then I ate those teriyaki noodles. Felt like I got shot in the stomach. And then I got fevers, chills, and a headache. I ended up in a fetal position, which I never lay on my side, but I was willing to try it. Because there's a certain type of sick that you get where only the fetal position will do, and you just kind of like hug yourself, and you tuck your knees up, and you're just like, yeah, just kill me. I can't get warm. I feel like death. Just kill me now, please. So I was like that until 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember when that was. It's like maybe a week ago. I don't know. But suffice to say, I'm not taking those things ever again. These yellow jacket looking pills look like a yellow jacket hornet I was thinking of. Rather than the pills, yellow jackets. I don't know what those look like. I'm pretty sure they're uppers that truckers take. I don't know. Um, anyways, yeah, that was torture, man. It wasn't even like I was staying up late. It was like I was going to sleep around midnight. And I'm up till like 8 in the morning, just grinding out a miserable night. And then I was like cursing my aid worker because I was like, man, what the fuck did she do with my thermometer? Because I was like, do I have a fever? What the hell's going on with me? I was thinking I had COVID. I was thinking all kind of fun thoughts too. I was like shaking and chills, feverish type symptoms, stomach all messed up. It was horrible. I don't know how much that was the pills, but I don't care. Fuck them pills. I'll stick with the known. I'll stick with the gabapentin, the Neurontin for pain relief. I take 300 milligrams all at once. The bottle says 103 times a day. I had an aid worker besides Ginger. Oop, said her name. Oh well, it's gonna stay in there. But I had an aid worker besides her come in here, and she told me like, why are they even bothering you? She said, I don't understand that because I've got neuropathy and they've got me on like I don't know what she said, 1,400 milligrams a day or something like that. Excuse me. I am definitely not in game form. This is what happens when you lay off from something for a while. You get rusty. I don't even have gum. It's rude anyway to chew gum and talk on the internet, you know. Gotta do something. Well, I'm gonna need the other piece after a while. But anyways, so yeah, the Lyrica thing is a bust. And like I said, they wanted to put me on Elavil, which is some kind of psychotropic mood stabilization type of drug, and I don't like those anyway. And as I said in my last video, I had an appointment I didn't realize was an appointment until it was almost over. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're that kind of nurse? I thought she was like the blood pressure, stick a needle up your butt type of nurse. I didn't think you were I don't think they do that anymore, even with kids. But when you're a kid back in the 70s, man, your tuchus was not sacred to the nurses. They would do that. Why they need to do that, I don't know. But, you know, with all the stuff with kids that came out in the 80s and whatnot, yeah, I bet you they don't bother doing that stuff with kids anymore. Leave kids' butts alone. But if you're old enough, you'll probably remember, like, thinking when you're a kid, you're just like, whatever. This is normal, It's like when I grew up, I was like, oh yeah, my brother's shooting things out the window in our backyard again. Where's the Fruit Loops? Just walk right past him while he's like blasting away at shit. you just you think everything's normal. It's like I think Stephen King made a comment about that. Like if a kid saw a ghost, he'd be like, "Hey man, what's up?" But if an adult sees a ghost, he starts thinking all kind of things. And kids just like, "Oh, this is the way the world is." They just think stuff's normal until they see otherwise. Like I didn't know how fucked up my family was until I saw how other families lived. Until I stayed at other families' houses, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is how like normal people live." Okay, we're weird. We're the Adams family. Okay, got it. We're the Adams family with guns and knives. Okay, now I understand. Oh, this is why like people look at me like this all the time when I say something. I was a kid, is like I was always thought of as weird. So I was always saying things that made people like look at me sideways. It's like, okay, yeah. And then I understood, and went to other people's houses, and I was like, oh, okay. Nobody's like, talking about cutting people or anything in this house. It's like, yeah. Now there's other kinds of weird. Like I would go to the Jehovah Witness lady's house, and I had a friend whose name was Stacy, which he was thought was a girl's name, so he changed his name to Jerry, which is manly. Meanwhile, Geraldine, Jerry. I've known several female Jerrys, but he changed his name to Jerry. You think if you're upset as a child, and he took that was his childhood dream was to not be named Stacy. I guess he got made fun of his name being Stacy a lot. He said that all through grade school that he was going to change his name when he got old enough, and he did, and he changed it to Jerry. It's like, why wouldn't you go with Dirk? Lance, something, something phallic. Rod, something manly. No, Jerry. Never made any sense. Guy was an asshole anyway, so yeah, I'm not surprised. So, anyways, as far as like my mood is still terrible. I should not be buying more football cards, but I have all these. My rationale is like I have all these cards to sell anyway. At some point, I'm going to have to sell Buku cards. What's a few more? What is the difference? And it's bad though because it's too easy to click that buy it now button. So you can, yeah. Plus, I don't really like to sell cards. It's just that I'm gonna have to anyway. And I'm gonna start doing a couple of tests for this time. I mean it, because it's getting. We're already like bordering on training camp, and like football has that short season. They're changing the season to 17 games, but football has like a year-round thing going around anyways, where they have off-season moves, the trade off-season trades and acquisitions and picking up free agents, and then you have the draft, then you have training camp. So it's like a year-round thing process anyway. So I think they're only going to have like one preseason game. They changed the preseason schedule this year. I mean, I checked the Browns schedule, and they only got them scheduled for one preseason game. So I guess that's how it's going to be now. One preseason game, and instead of 16 regular season games, 17 games. The point being, I got to sell all this shit anyway. So once I get good at it, it's not going to be that big of a pain in the ass, especially if I can print the shipping labels here. As far as money, it's like, I don't have money problems right now, so um, not really an issue. But I'm going to have to be disciplined about it and start taking, just two sets of pictures a day, for 2 lots, just every day, just like an everyday thing. Okay, I got my, that's the part I hate is getting good pictures of the cards, get good pictures of the cards and just start that. Then you have your pictures all organized and ready to go, and you can slap your ads together fast, and just have like a generic description. So you can do it in a formulaic way, so where it's chop chop, it's quick, it's easy, and if I can figure out the printed shipping label thing, then I can just move all my stuff, just get out of it altogether. Um, who knows how many thousands of dollars? I know I put them all in the closet over there because the low point in the season in the ceiling with the water is over there. And the new guy don't take a whole lot of showers, so he's a filthy motherfucker, which is good. So, so uh, yeah, I don't hear that shower running very much. That means like there's less chance of water coming through my ceiling. So, Pig Pen, yeah, I like Pig Pen. Schroeder, not so much. Pig Pen, yeah. Very old references, but I know my audience. But as soon as like I got a new tenant in there, I was like, my cars have to go. That is the low. They're sitting in the low point. I either have to cover them up with in garbage bags or plastic. I'm not having like $5,000 worth of waterlogged cards, or however many thousands of dollars worth of cards. It's like they gotta go someplace where water never goes. So they're on my top shelf up there. In case anybody wants to come here and get killed, they can. If they want my cards and my Xanax. I also have a very nice fishing rod. If you'd like to, get killed over that too. But my TV's not worth getting killed over. So plus, it's bulky. TV's not a good thing to steal anymore. A big screen TV used to be a big deal. I got a 60-inch TV. Beautiful picture. $297 smart TV. You know, why get killed over $297? That's just wild. They just keep what it is they just keep coming out with new shit. So like the smartwatch here, I got this for $22. You know, just because I guess the people that have money, the haves, have to have the new thing, the new and better thing when that does what the does the same shit as the new model. You know, I don't keep up with these things, but I think I think I heard Joe Rogan talking about iPods or something. I don't know, some technological thing, and they were like, "You're still on like the two." They have we're on 13. Version 13. I don't know what he was talking about though. Point being is they just come out with new shit. And people like get rid of their old stuff, and then that allows the have-nots to pick up the old stuff, which is perfectly fine. You know, it's not like any kids are gonna make fun of me for you have the 19. Wait a minute. You have the 2019 smartwatch. Oh God, you're so lame. Yeah, I guess people used to do that in school nowadays, but they didn't used to do that in school to the poor kids. I mean, eh, now it's like, oh, you're poor, na 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 na. But it didn't used to be like that. Where I grew up, anyways, it's like nobody cared about like your clothes or what you wore. It's like I did go to a mostly white school. You know, I mean, so I can only speak about white culture. We had a token black kid in the Catholic school that I went to, but none of the white kids uh, cared about the black kid one way or another. And I don't even remember the dude. He just kind of blended in with everybody else. And as far as like money, nobody made fun of the poor kids for having like the uncool sneakers. There were kids that like the richer kids, like my arch enemy Brett Gaff, that had cool things. Like when Kiss was big, he had his Kiss lunchbox. You know, he would always have like the best and newest, but nobody cared. Nobody was like, "Ooh, you're cool." And they're like, "No, you're a dick." In those days, we cared about the content of your character, not what shoes you were wearing. And nowadays, I guess it's a thing to get made fun of for, like, you know, not wearing the latest fashions and clothes and stuff. And I think it's like, really? I would have laughed at him if somebody actually. I wouldn't even like beat them up or anything, and I liked to beat people up when I was a kid. It's like if somebody made fun of my clothes, I would have just thought they were stupid. I actually took a pair of shoes that I liked, and I had heavy duty, uh, some kind of weird duct tape, but it was a special duct tape that my dad was very proud of. This duct tape, I don't think he approved that I fixed my shoes with it, but I actually duct taped my shoe all the way around the sole with my dad's special duct tape, which uh, its claim to fame is it had steel fibers in the duct tape, and you supposedly could tow a car with it. So my dad was really into weird little things like that, so he was like, "Yeah, this is the strongest tape in the world." You know what? It did really good with those shoes, but I wore those shoes, and I give a damn one way or another, man. I had duct taped up shoes. Not only did I not have the latest fashions, I had uh, I did have the latest duct tape though, the latest in duct tape technology. So I actually remember those shoes. Um, yeah, it's hard to make people today understand that. I'm talking like 20 or 30 years old. Make them understand the 70s. It's impossible. And I've said this before. It's like if you watch somebody react to a movie like Halloween from the 70s, they're like, "Why is nobody's doors locked?" It's like, because crime wasn't as bad back then. If you were in the suburbs, man, you had less chance. You had more chance of getting attacked by a rabid squirrel than you did have of being attacked by uh, having somebody like do a B&E on your house. I mean, I grew up in this neighborhood in the suburbs, and uh, I don't even remember hearing about a robbery, let alone anybody coming. Well, if they would have come to our house, they would have been dead, man. We were like the house in the horror movie, like where the robbers picked the wrong fucking house, because they would have been killed. You know, because our house was a little shittier, of course, than the other houses in the suburbs, but it kind of looked like just another house in the suburbs. But they were like, the um, what would you call it? The previews to the movie would be like they thought they were robbing just another suburb house, but instead they were entering hillbilly hell. My dad almost shot my foster brother for falling off the roof. He wasn't robbing nobody. He was just sneaking out of the house drunk. So, yeah, he didn't want to walk past my dad and go from the upstairs. So, his idea, in, drunk logic, was to, sneak out the window in the upstairs room and climb out onto the garage roof and then walk down the garage roof and then get onto the truck, which is not, truck was up high, garage roof not that high, and then sneak out. Then my dad would not know that he was drunk off of his ass as a teenager. Well, he did not understand that that would be a tricky thing to do if you were sober. If you're drunk off your ass and there's snow on the roof, not gonna happen. So of course, he takes one step onto the roof, smack onto the F-350 truck. My dad goes out there with a shotgun. "Who the fuck is out here?" He's like, "It's just me, it's just me." "Well, what the fuck are you doing out here? I almost shot your ass." Like I said, when you're a kid, that shit's just normal. So nothing particularly surprising about that. We would just think shit like that was funny. Usually that's kind of a momentous event in the family when somebody else almost shoots another family member. But, nothing special. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary there. I mean, I barely remember, yeah. It was kind of unusual, like when my brother punched that dude in the driveway. That was kind of interesting because my brother never did anything like that because he was too afraid of my dad. That just shows you how mad he was at that guy, that he would do that in the driveway and take his chances with my dad. Of course, once my dad came out and yelled at him, it was like, he was calmed down. He wasn't that crazy where, he really wanted to kill that guy, but he really didn't want to get killed by my dad. So when my dad yelled at him, he was just like, okay, game over. He grudgingly went in the house. But yeah, you really wanted to kill that guy. So that was a little bit unusual because I never saw, I saw my brother like flip his shit many times and turn into homicidal mode. Nothing particularly surprising about that. The fact that he would do that and then yell and scream to where my dad would hear him, "Get out of the car! I'm not done with you! I'm not done with you yet!" You know, that was a bit surprising. But, you know, it makes for, like I said, if you want to make an interesting child, just raise him in a fucked up environment. Don't teach him anything. By the way, speaking of not teaching anybody anything, I set up my guitar. I had the aid worker help me out. So I'm going to try to, I think that will be good for my mental health if I get back into playing guitar. So I set up my electric guitar. Had her help me with that because you have to, move a chair to get to the outlet that I need. And I think the other stuff I could have done myself. But she's here. She needs something to do. So, you know, I could have actually done all of it myself. But like I said, she's here. She needs something to do. That's all I had planned for today was to help me set up my guitar and ride, take that scooter ride. Didn't work out. But I figure that's might be good for me. I'm kind of like feeling the urge to play guitar too. Feel the urge to be a human being. It's just I get up in the morning and I don't want to move. I mean, literally get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and not get out of bed until 12. I mean, I get out of bed, go to the bathroom, get my coffee, lay back in bed, watch a whole baseball game. And baseball games are long. Dick around on the computer, watch videos on YouTube, write on YouTube and shit, and just not want to move because leg. And but yeah, it doesn't mean I'm still alive. I still have life in me. Too much damn life, if you ask me. If I'm gonna be if it's all gonna run out of my mouth and a bunch of nonsensical words. Mostly my mood, I'm in a pretty good mood today, but mostly my mood has been pretty dreadful. I haven't been feeling very well. My volume intake I've been pretty good about. I'm just I'm just thinking about just taking 2.5 milligrams, which is literally a quarter of these pills that I got out of the cat box. Um, and just taking that in the middle of the day and then going to sleep with gabapentin and melatonin at night and seeing what that feels like. Because I do have I am cut off. I just have massive supply of Valium. So and yeah, it would be a lot easier if I could wear myself out doing shit, but I mean, I lifted weights yesterday. I walked around with a walker, not a cane, because I did not feel like doing a tightrope act. I felt pretty much like I was gonna fall for sure yesterday, so I just walked around with a walker for I don't know how long until I got tired. I checked my pulse at one point. I'm like 134. Yeah, I don't believe this fucking watch. I sat down and I waited for it, and it went down to like 117, and then I got back up, started walking again. Um, I mean, if you're just walking around really slow, pushing a walker, your pulse should not be 134. As far as like losing weight, I'm not sure how that's going to happen. I will make a note to talk to my brother and ask him if I can borrow the scale that I gave to him, because I don't ever see my brother, and he's going to come over here when I go fishing. So I got to get the camera off of him. I'll get a scale off of him. I'll try to lose weight because that will help my leg out. And I would like to see my penis again. So, you know, it's really weird. It's really weird when you've been skinny your whole life that you have to like suck your gut in and like, oh, there, my special little friend. Fucking weird if you've lived like I don't know 50 years where that wasn't an issue. I mean, I had pretty much a flat stomach. It was really weird, like getting complimented by a dude about your stomach being flat. That was fucking weird. And that dude, like, yeah, that was weird. Of all people, for him to like give me that compliment, he's like, man, yeah, I wish I had your stomach, man. You got like the flat, uh, washboard stomach. I'm like, why are you looking at my stomach, dude? But yeah, I remember that. I just thought it was odd that that particular person would say something about my wonderfully flat stomach. But I guess he was amazed that I had a flat stomach. It's like, dude, if you didn't drink like a shitload of beer and smoke pot with every meal, like, you know, maybe you'd be a little skinnier. But really, it was just a lot of exercise, high metabolism. Stomach crunches, I always incorporated those, into my exercise routine. As part of my weightlifting that I would do. I'd have a section where I would do leg lifts, stomach crunches, and stuff like that. What? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. As far as like the non-weights part, I was down on the floor on the mat anyway doing butterflies, so I would do that too. Then I would also do like standing oblique exercises where you lean over to one side with the barbell on one of your arms and straighten up, your obliques. Oblique just means off to the side. So, but when you're talking about your abdominals, it means these ones right here. I don't know what the ones in the front that get the washboard effect are. I don't know. I used to have like a 3 pack instead of a 6 pack because I had the left side of my body was afflicted, so it didn't have no packs. It was a 1 pack, and well, I guess you call it a 4 pack. It was a 1 pack, and the other side was a 3 pack. So I had a 4 pack. Oh man, so how you all been doing? Good. Glad to hear it. I'm going to assume you're all doing fine and dandy, and that your lives are beautiful and wonderful, and that's why you're listening to me. We know better than that, right? I was talking to my brother, and I forget what I was saying to him specifically how this came up organically, but I was like, if I was you, I wouldn't give a fuck about that one way or another because you can walk and go outside. I forget what he was talking about, but I was like, dude, I would be like outside all the time if I had my druthers. I would be like biking, walking, fishing. I would get up and I would leave my house immediately. And it's like, yeah, I forget what he was talking. He was probably talking about something going wrong with his computer or something like that, which I gave him. I was talking about him to my friend on the phone, and I just used the same old line. Like, he is an entity unto himself. It's like, I always tell him, you do you. It's like, I just let him be. Like, you can't. Yeah, my dad used to, whenever you wouldn't take his advice, he used to be like, okay, you know it all. Or like, okay, you know better. Something like that. And I'm more like, okay, man, you're crazy. It wasn't like you know it all. It's like, yeah, it's fine to assert your autonomy, but yeah, if like I'm giving you advice on how to take a fish hook out of your hand, you're like, nah, I think I'll leave it there. And they're like, okay, what's the way to get a fish hook out of your hand? As everybody should know, is you push it all the way through, and then you take a pair of wire cutters, cut it, and then you pull it out. Because that barb, that's something weird that I can say as somebody that's fished as much as I have is I have never had a hook in my hand past the barb. Once you go past that barb, you got a problem because some meat's coming out with that hook. And that's how you take a fish hook out of your hand, is you actually push it all the way through. Unless it's like an ocean fishing type of hook or something that they would use on swamp people fishing for gators, then you go to an emergency room. Yeah. Uh, what other nonsense can I talk about? Besides this fucking bird out here making that noise. I really hate birds. I've never liked birds, man, except for the predatory birds like the hawks. Even vultures are cool. Buzzards, turkey vultures, hawks, eagles, osprey. But these little chirping birds that people like, bird song, they call it. You call that a song? Yeah, I can't hum that. Okay, it's not a song unless you can fucking hum it. I want to hear somebody hum a bird song. Okay, mostly I just want to kill them all so they don't make any noise. But yeah, I always think of birds as rats with wings. I never like birds as an outdoorsman. I just hate the motherfuckers. Now storks are cool. You know, the big ass birds. I'm partial to like owls. I've seen a couple of owls in the wild. My gum separated there. Choked for a minute. I've seen a couple owls in the wild, and I've seen plenty of storks or heron in the wild. They're cool. And eagles. I've seen golden eagles. I've seen bald eagles. Osprey. Seahawks. Those big predatory birds are cool. Even, plain old red-tailed hawks are pretty cool. You know what? Because they're quiet. They don't make a lot of noise because they're predators. Predators don't make a lot of noise. They don't announce themselves unless they're the big guy in a bar looking for a fight. Possible exception to that rule, but that's a human type person. That's not an animal. Animals that want to kill usually are very quiet because they do not want to announce themselves to potential victims. And birds are no different. Um, yeah, so I wish, well, that's what I should wish. I wish all the hawks and eagles in the area would come and eat all these noisy little songbirds immediately, except for spare the hummingbirds. I like the hummingbirds, but they still don't have a tune you can hum to, even if they're called hummingbirds. There's hummingbirds in the backyard there. I thought they were bumblebees. I was so high one day. I was sitting back there and I was high, and I'm like, that is the biggest bumblebee I have ever seen. It's a fucking hummingbird. I never saw one before. And it was hovering around the flower just like a bumblebee would, trying to get the nectar out of the flower. Woo, they growing big here in Massillon. Damn. Whoa, no, that's a bird, dude. Yeah, there's hummingbirds around here. Just like the city over here and a little bit of the country back here. That's why I like, this seemed like a good place to move into before I learned better. It's because there's a stream back there and there's woods back there. And then it leads to a park that used to be fishable if you just followed this trail. And that stream that flows back that way would flow into this fishable. I never liked fishing there, but it was fishable. There was game fish in it, even pike and pickerel, bass and pickerel, which is a small pike. But yeah, wildlife is noisy. Oh, so I don't really, like I said, I don't have anything to talk about that's a pleasant or non-excretory. Yeah, we need some non-excretory patter. My brother told me something funny. Uh, he was talking about zipper porn. And I don't have nothing to talk about, so I have to talk about nasty shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, well, they got this porn now where like it's zipper vision. And I'm like, what? He's like, it looks like an open zipper, and then there's like zippers up the side of the screen, and then the whatever the action or whatever is going on between the two pieces of the zipper. And I'm like, listen, I don't need a point of view dick thing. I'm already a dick. It's like I don't need point of view. Is that the idea? It's like the point of view of the dick. It's like is this what we're talking about here? It's like I'm already a dick, man. I don't need that. It's like I don't know what the hell he was talking about. It was like they need to get fancy now with this stuff. Whatever. But anyways, yeah, I don't like wasting time talking about stuff like that, or yeah, or political debates or whatever. It's like I was having debates over the First Amendment and stuff like that. I would just rather talk about simple, down to earth things, like did I not run over an 8-year old with my scooter in the school parking lot that I'm going to practice in, hopefully Saturday, but it was supposed to be today. It's like, but if your heart's fucking with you and you can't go around, you don't know what's going to happen as far as like once you get the scooter out there, if it's going to malfunction, you're going to end up like hoofing it on a cane when you're already having your heart's already skipping around a little bit. And my pulse was 133 last night, or 134 rather, just walking around here, let alone trying to walk out on the street, which is, I'm thinking I need different shoes to walk in, because shoes make a big difference when you can't feel your feet. It's like you have to, uh, yeah, when you can't feel what's going on, what type of clothes you wear matters as far as your ability to walk, which I found out that like my days of wearing jeans are over because jeans pull tight and I can't feel when they pull tight when you walk in something that if you feel your legs won't think about. It's like I was like not compensating for that little tug. I could probably wear like really loose baggy jeans still, maybe, I don't know, but I don't have anything that's loose anymore since I'm a fat bastard. But I haven't worn jeans for years. You know, I still have my wallet that I used to wear in the back pocket of my jeans all the time, though. So I just keep it for keepsake. And as far as your shoes, I'm thinking I would be better served by a shoe with a lower sole. And I was thinking I have a pair of shoes around here that are literally blue suede shoes that are made out of suede leather, and they're just almost like low top Chuck Taylor type soled shoes. And they're here somewhere wrapped up in a bug bag from the bed bug days. But I'm a little superstitious about that because that happened in 2018, and you only have to keep stuff. You only have to starve bed bugs for a year and a half, 2 years at the outside. And if they don't get any blood to feed on, they're dead. So if that's why I don't have bed bugs now. It's because I sealed up my mattresses, got rid of all the existing bed bugs, and you know, it's gross, but you're sleeping on bed bugs. They just can't get at you because they're sealed up in this special zippered thing. Because, yeah, at the time, I didn't have the money to buy a new mattress. Now that I do have the money to buy a new mattress, I'm still not buying a new mattress because these bugs that I'm sleeping on are all dead and desiccated. So who cares? I've slept on worse than bugs. So on that, like, odd note, macabre note, I can go through my, I should go through my uh, bagged up bedbug era stuff. Because I have like, I'm starting to play guitar again, and I have a nail hardener thing, which is just a UV light, and you put on this special nail polish. You women's folks probably know about this. And it's like a little hollow tunnel thing that's supposed to make your nails hard. The first time I used it, it really didn't do much. I don't know if I did it wrong or whatever. I only got to use it once. Um, but playing guitar with your fingernails, if you don't have good fingernails or hard fingernails, that's a losing battle of attrition because your nails will disappear a lot faster than you think. It's like those strings are a very slow emery board grinding away at your nails, and then you have to wait for your nails to grow back. Anyways, I lost my nerve because I opened up. There's a perfectly good pillow, and I need a new pillow. But I'm like, that's on my bed though. It doesn't make any. I don't. I know it doesn't make any sense. It's like if I unleash whatever bugs would possibly be alive, which is not even possible for them to be alive, out of these bags, they're gonna find their way to me anyway. But that would be actually on my bed. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck that pillow. So I threw it in the garbage. Threw it out. But I opened up the bag and I was like, oh, this is a perfectly good pillow. That's all that's in here. It's just sealed up from the bed bug era. Like, got a little superstitious, or I don't know. Just, yeah. Like, no. Threw it out. But yeah, I have to find. I think it's important in life to find things that you enjoy. So I used to enjoy playing the guitar. Hopefully, it won't be like football cards or selling sports cards. I used to like doing that, and I don't like it anymore. And I was thinking when I was talking to my aid worker today, I was thinking I have like money and no health now. And when I had a little bit of health, I had no money. I mean, uh, the things that I could have done if I had my financial situation now 20 years ago. And I'm not even rich, man. I get, let's see, like 240 odd dollars in EBT credits each month for food, and I get 12. I think $1,264 a month to live on, but I have to only pay $425 worth of rent, and I only have to pay electric here, and I don't really have any bills except for $20 a month for my phone and $60 a month for my internet, and then like, so that leaves me what, $700 left over. That's fat city for me, man. I was living on 422 a month, you know. So I have like, yeah. It's like when I had the energy and the wherewithal and the health to do things, I had absolutely no money to do it with. And I was thinking about like regretful things, and like one of the things that I was like, you don't really want to think about things that people do that pissed you off. It's like at one point, everybody that I knew knows that I'm dependent on an electric bicycle to get around, to get my groceries, for my independence, to take care of myself. And I didn't leave well enough alone. I was like, well, I can upgrade. I can take the electric parts off of the one bike, which was hell to put together and make work, and put it on this other bike. And then I can put baskets on this other bike because it's made differently. and I can carry more groceries home that way. Well, that caused me a shitload of grief. And then my brother-in-law had a drinking problem that he's like, you know, pretty much a genius. Well, he is a genius, a literal genius, but he's a genius at fixing things, electrical things, figuring out mechanical things and shit like that. But he's literal 153 IQ, which is literally a genius. Anyways, my wheel breaks on my bike. So, I transferred it to the other bike. I'm all excited. I ride it. The wheel spins in such a way as to break the cables connecting the electric wheel to the control box. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I give it back to him. He fixes it. I put it back on the bike. Same damn thing happens again. I'm like, give it back to him. I think it cost me 200. I was like, look, it's going to cost me $265 for the wheel. So I'm going to pay you $200 to fix this wheel. So I paid him $200 to fix it the first time, and then I broke it, and then he gave me a freebie the second time around because he said, it is a pain in the ass to fix this wheel. It's complicated. It's like not complicated so much as intricate work like microsurgery. Getting these wires um, into this little hub thing. But he's like, you don't have to pay me any more money. That's cool. I'm like, okay, you know. And he needed money at the time, and I thought I would give him something to do. And my stupid brain, I was like, I didn't want to like. I thought it would be like, I don't know, damaging to his self-esteem, or if I was like, hey man, it's been like 4 months. Where's my fucking wheel? You fucking drunk. So I was like, I just like waited and waited. And it took. He got around to it in about 10 months. In the meantime, my foster brother is buying a Harley Davidson. I told him I only needed like $100 to like buy a wheel for my electric bike. I didn't ask him for the $100. I was like, a new wheel costs $265, but I don't have it. I'm like $100 short. Dead silence. Not like, oh, I could loan you 100. Dude never loaned me money in his fucking life. That is a one-way street out of my pocket into his. And then he, buys a Harley, knowing that $100 would change my life and put me back on a little two-wheel electric bicycle. And it's like, yeah, I, I remember things like that. It's like I don't sit there and stew over them. I remember stuff like that. It's like when I was talking to my aid worker about it, it's like it's not a matter of like I don't regret giving my brother $400. It's like, but I remember doing it because I'm not crazy or demented. Well, I am demented, but I don't have dementia where I get confused and whatever about events and things that happened. I know that I walked over there and gave an envelope with $400 and told him not to pay me back. That was a gift. And then I remember that all he had to do was literally use a card and not spend a dime to help me and just use his money and then use my card, and he wouldn't do it. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really. That doesn't mean I regret giving him the $400, and that doesn't mean I regret being generous with people. But I remember, almost poked myself in the eye, got the eyebrow though. I remember that shit. And then after a while, you're like, nope, I'm not doing nothing for you anymore. Nope. I thought about it with my brother. Like on Saturday, I have a bunch of food. Like my freezer is packed up. I do not even know how I'm going to get my next shipment of food into the freezer. There's no room. So, I'm going to give him food. But I'm thinking like I should at least get $10. Maybe I can get $10 out of him for this food. My brother is so wacky. He might not give me $10 for $50 worth of food, though. So I guess I'll just give him the food. You know, And it's like I am not storing up riches for myself in heaven. That's how I used to think. I used to think like all my good deeds I was storing up. You know, it's like, yeah, God will smile kindly on me and I will have a good life because I am nice and good to other people and I did all these good deeds. Or I'll get rewarded in heaven for being a good person. I don't think like that anymore, you know. And, or no, I have good karma built up and it's going to come back around that on me. And then people will want to help me. And then, like, you know, yeah, instead I end up broken down with my legs broken up and, people taking giant shits on me and not even like coughing up $100 when they're spending $30,000 getting in debt paying for a Harley. Uh, yeah, you know, about to do the furnace when it was cold. All he did was call me up and say, "Look, man, you got $200 I could borrow?" I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Well, the furnace went out and it's fucking cold outside, and we've been sleeping in coats and gloves and hats underneath blankets, and the furnace guy is here, and we're $200 late, and he's gonna stop working and go." And I'm like, "Yes, I have $200. You may have my $200." Yeah. And that was like after the wheel thing, where he's like, "Oh, you didn't have $100 for me when you had enough money to buy a Harley Davidson or to put a down payment on a Harley Davidson." And he's like, I think you just do that stuff because you can, and it makes you feel good to do it. It's like an ego stroke, like I am a good dude or whatever. You know, I think the only selfless good deed you can do in this life is to tell people that they're an asshole. You're a dick for doing that. You're a bitch and a cunt. You know, and actually yell at people, because all you're going to get out of it is bad feelings while you're doing it and shit thrown back at you. But it needed said. I think that's the only thing you can do in this life that's selfless, is to tell somebody what a shitbag they are. Because if you think about it, you're getting, you know, positive endorphin feedbacks. Like, I'm a good dude. I, you know, hooked you up. I made you people warm for the winter, you know. And, like, yeah, it's like that you're getting something out of that. Even though it seems like a selfless act, it's not, because you can tell yourself you're a good person and you can feel good. But if I were to be like, "Look, you're a bunch of shiftless assholes. You got yourself in this fucking mess, and you're in this fucking mess because you don't have your shit together." And it's like, okay, all you people together make 5 times more money than I do. How the hell is it that you have no heat and no money for your furnace, and I do? I don't, and I'm not coming to you for money. Why are you coming to me for money when the income of your household is 5 times what I make? Like, what sense does that even make? You know, I don't know if they don't know that shit, or they probably know that shit and don't care. I think a lot of it is sociopathy. I think they know what's up and they don't care. They know that they used me like a snot rag and threw me away. They don't care. They probably do that with everybody. I'm not a special case, you know. Um, so yeah, this is why I need to like do things so I don't get in these bad little cul-de-sacs of thought where I'm just thinking about like past things where I'm like, okay, that relationship was ruined in this way, and you know, my sister this, and why won't my brother do that, and like, why is this way, and stuff like that. But it really is like, I think pretty sound thinking. Excuse me. If you go over it in your head, like the really only selfless thing that you can do in this life that's truly selfish is to like read somebody the riot act and explain to them why they're an asshole. or like a cop is really a selfless job. Uh, you get paid though, so I guess you can't count that because you do get their pensions are sweet too. You get paid, and also, a lot of, well, not anymore, but police used to get their asses kissed a lot about like being public servants and whatnot, but not so much anymore. Um, yeah, but yeah, that's really a tough job, man, being a cop. And I know, of course, because my best friend's a cop, but I got like insight into it because of long drives, mostly because of the long drives. We would have these Baroque conversations, and it would, eventually he has to talk about his life, and that's just a huge part of his life. And I caught him repeating a story where he got in a fight with three guys, and he was telling me the story again, and I'm like, yeah, the Daviducks, because they had a very memorable name. Their name is Daviducka, ducks, Daviducks. He goes, yeah. He's like, yeah, you lived in that neighborhood, so you know about those guys. And I'm like, not really. I know that story because you told me that story before. But he goes, oh yeah, that was from like 1978 when that happened. And I was like, yeah, 1978. You might have been in your 20s, but I was 11. So no, I lived at the folks' house, man. I didn't live in that neighborhood. And he goes, oh yeah, and he laughed at himself. Which he's a pretty humble guy. Um, it's one of his better qualities is he is a fairly humble dude. He'll laugh at himself when he's stupid, or says or does something stupid. But yeah, he told me that story before about getting in a fight with three guys, and he's like, "Well, one of them ran, so that evened things up." He saw that I clocked the one guy, and he like ran almost immediately. They knew he was a cop, and they were jumping him anyway. They thought they were bad actors or whatever. But he was like, I don't really remember the description of the fight as much as the end, because the end is kind of funny. That there's two guys there, and one of them has a board, because, like I said, the third guy ran. One of them has a board and is trying to hit him with this board, but he is much quicker and more athletic than them because he actually was a college football player at, I think, New Mexico State. So he's jumping around like just avoiding it because he already called it in. So he wants to keep him there to get arrested. So he's basically fighting these people, not so much to beat them up, but just to keep them there so other cops will arrest them. So instead of like drawing his weapon, tasering them, or beating them up or whatever, he's just dancing. He's more or less dancing with them. Let's keep on dancing until the cops get here. So the guy's trying to hit him with a board, and he's dodging it and stuff like that. The other guy's trying to hit him, and he's blocking his punches and stuff. And he's just fighting two dudes. He's like, I tried to keep him there, but they only caught one. He's like, the other one got away, but at least they caught one. And I was like, oh, those guys were in trouble all the time anyway, so I imagined that I got him later. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, a couple of them did time. Later on, they were like the neighborhood tough guys, you know, which the the actual tough guys in the city of Canton would have ate them up and shat them out, but they were like young people like I'm a badass type of dudes. It's like no 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 no, you don't understand. You're just young and stupid. It's like I talk. She remembers Canton, so when I talk to my aid worker, she remembers the Palms. She goes, "Oh yeah, I know about the Palms." It's like my brother was a bad motherfucker because he'd get in fights all the time, but he wasn't as bad as all that. Because when I talked to my dad, he was like, "Ah," he's like, "You gotta understand, your brother's getting in those fights. Meanwhile, me, Bobby, and Pat are sitting there watching, ready to jump in at any time, and the guy that's fighting him knows it. So you got a choice, man. You can get beat up by my brother, or you can get killed by one of these three murderers watching the fight." So yeah, the dab ducks, they want nothing to do with my uncles or my dad. Believe me, they might have thought they were badasses, but they never. You know, between them three dudes, yeah, we're talking about some serious numbers as far as putting people 6 feet under. You know, it's some serious shit. If you're in a fight with somebody and their name matches the name of three murderers in the bar watching, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is gonna hurt. Drop the hands. Go down, take a dive, man. Take that knee. Take a knee, man, because the mafia is gonna come and get you later on if you don't, man. It's gonna suck. Take a knee. But yeah, I don't know, I knew my brother could fight, but my dad sort of set me straight on that. He's like, yeah, you got backup, man. You don't understand. And he explained it to me. 'Cause that's when I was young. Excuse me. I didn't want to hurt things. That's when I was young and didn't understand the whole situation. Where there was, if you've ever seen the movie, I've told this tale before, but if you've ever seen the movie A Bronx Tale, there's a scene in the Bronx Tale that is right out of the Palms. It matches it almost exactly. Biker gang comes into the Palms, tries to take the Palms over, and as the guy played Chaz, or the guy who was doing the narration, Chaz Palminteri, I believe, I don't know if I pronounced that right, said it. He's like, they walked into the wrong bar. They didn't realize it, but they walked into the wrong bar. Well, that bike gang, they walked into the wrong bar. And that's the incident where uh, my dad put a knife to that guy's stomach and said, like, you take one more walk out there, one more step out there toward what's happening out there, I'm going to open you up like a ripe watermelon. And he said that his brother Pat was kicking one of the guy's friend's head like a football at the time, which his brothers were sadistic murderers. So, there was no such thing as the fight being over. Like when we fought when we were kids, if somebody was down, we had a certain amount of honor about it. If a guy's down and he ain't resisting anymore, fight's over. You officially won the fight. No, those guys didn't think that way. They just, when they got tired, that's when the fight was over. When they got tired of whipping your ass and, breaking your bones, then the fight was over. If you happened to be alive, that was just a bonus for you. But anyways, I got to be talking. Now I'm talking about violent shit. I always end up in the same mental cul-de-sacs. Family issues, violence stories, um, sometimes something funny involving pornography, physical ailments, medicinal intake. Uh, I did manage to avoid excretory function issues. That's always good. But yeah, that's why I want to, do things. I want to do things. I want to like get my camera off my brother and make something different. I mean, not that this isn't compelling and fascinating content, is that I have provided over the years, watching somebody struggle. And not that it hasn't been interesting hearing, me talk about actually having an infestation of hornets in my bedroom, which, I had a flashback yesterday because I stupidly left the window open. I had a monster hornet in there land on the window over there. So I go over there and take an old Doritos bag and try to smash it on the window. And I'm like, it kind of like down to the ground. I'm like, well, I hope it's dead. And it said, I laid back down in the bed and it said, and it was kind of like flying. And so I smacked it sideways with the book that I had in my hand, like a baseball, and it hit the ground. And then again, still alive. So I like smacked it with the book and then I kicked it out sideways into the hallway toward the garbage. And I'm like, you know what? If you can live after all that, you deserve it. So you can come back and sting me later, man. I don't care. Then I was walking over to the garbage and I was thinking, if I step on that hornet and get stung by that hornet, maybe it will have medicinal properties. My foot hurts anyway. So yeah, because they're supposed to be medicinal. I think that's honeybees that people sting themselves with for pain relief. yeah, I had a flashback to, like I said, it's not that it's not interesting to hear stories about, having an infestation of hornets in your house. And literally, there was dozens, literal dozens of dead hornets, like inside my windows, in the sills. There's still carcasses around here of hornets from that infestation. But I'd be like laying here and I'd go to sleep, and there'd be like a hornet on my chest. And I'd wake up and there'd be a hornet on my chest, and I would have the wherewithal to do this, which is good, instead of this, which is bad. So, I'd be like trying to sleep in a room with hornets, and then you turn the light out and you're hearing, and it's like, I didn't know hornets flew in the dark. It's like, shit. And then I also found out something about hornets that I didn't know. It's like every other winged insect. All you have to do is like open the door and turn on the light in another room, and like moths to a flame, they will go toward the light. Not hornets. It doesn't work with hornets. I did not know this, but I learned this. So yeah, there's some stuff that happens in my poor excuse for life that's interesting. I mean, I don't have like drug dealer drama, or like trying to break people's arms, or chasing off crack dealers, or threatening people, or being involved with the police and all that drama going on. That's horrible if you're in it. If you're actually in an episode of Law and Order, it's horrible. But if you're watching one, it's kind of interesting. You know, that's what I felt like. I felt like my life was an episode of Law and Order for a while there, because I was dealing with the police so much, and dealing with the landlord, and dealing with those meth heads and crack dealers. I told that story. Uh, I had to show that to the dude. I need to get like in good with this dude upstairs, because he is an excellent neighbor. I need to make him as comfortable. I'll be like, look, dude, if you ever need help with the rent, man, I will chip in. Because I was going to rent your place, and keep it empty. I had like, his name is Tristan. So I had to get in good with Tristan, and be friendly with him. And I always felt like I'm not welcoming enough or nice enough. I just kind of keep to myself, so I'm not nice enough to the people that live here, to make them. I doubt it makes any difference. Maybe like me being nice to them would be a drawback and drive them away more. I don't know. But when the two good-looking women were upstairs, I just kept to myself mostly. And I was out on the porch some and interacted with them some, but I figured they just weren't left alone mostly. They're probably bothered by dudes all the time, anyways. But one of them had like a guitar playing boyfriend that was actually got paid gigs and stuff, and I heard him play guitar. He was a good musician, and I never bothered like trying to play guitars with him, or being extra friendly with them, or anything like that, or being making it feel like a welcome, fun environment or whatever. Because I don't, I'm not a fun guy. I don't, it's not a fun life. So, uh, yeah, but I was like thinking, like, I had to make a point, like, to talk to this dude. This dude just makes me think that there's skunks in the neighborhood all the time. I keep catching myself and laughing. I'd be like, the window would be open. I'd be like, yeah, it must be spring. There's another skunk. And I'm like, oh, that's a dude upstairs. He likes the skunk, man. So, yeah. Yeah, I've talked to that dude and make him feel appreciated and wanted or whatever. Sorry about itching my elbow, but yeah, it was necessary. You got a close up of an itched elbow, or that's scratched elbow. It's an itchy elbow that's scratched. Let's be very specific. It's very important. Oh, how long have I've been running my mouth? A long time. It's a horrible life, man. Yeah, and I can't even do the rear window thing and like look out at the neighbors. There's nothing to look at. You know, I could sit in the living room and look out the windows. There's nothing going on in the neighborhood. It's a different world now because of COVID. I mean, where has everyone gone? Seems to be very little activity in the neighborhood. I don't know. It's like that one Saturday when I went fishing. It's like, where are all the kids? It's Saturday. You know, when I used to have a somewhat more normal life and would sit in the living room and watch TV and look out the window, there would be a kid jumping on a trampoline across the street, and there'd be kids over here making noise and kids over there. You know, it's like, I guess I should be grateful for the lack of children since I don't like noise, but it's just weird. Like, where are they on a Saturday? Oh, they're social distancing. But, anyways, I think I probably talked long enough. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. Like I said, I stayed away basically because just I can get tired of talking about the same old shit with which I listed off and running over the same old ground. And I'm not sharp-witted enough to offer any political commentary or social critique. So, you know, yeah, I need actual concrete things, you know, to talk about. We can't get into abstraction and esotericism here. We have to talk about real things. And my real things are not real interesting. Uh, yeah. I have to get a manual to that blue scooter and figure out how to take it apart, though. Because there might be a way I could. It doesn't look like it comes apart in such a way as to be manageable as far as lifting into the back of an SUV, as I will do with my red scooter that sucks on Saturday. But that would be awesome to get that by the pond. But I think I would need to be like really accomplished to fish on that scooter by the pond. Because I already were like worry my brother, my friend didn't say anything about it because, you know, he's a cop. He's seen literally everything. He has tied a tourniquet on somebody's leg that got shot with a shotgun. You know, he's seen everything, literally everything. So nothing phases him at all. So, you know, he'd be like, oh, Steve drove the scooter into the pond. Shit, I'm going to have to lift that out of there. Whereas my brother would freak out, but he said something like, "Oh, I thought he's like, I thought you're gonna run that into the pond, man. Be careful." So scoot around, like go down and stop, like at the bank of the pond, and get as close to the water as possible. Um, but if I could get the blue scooter out there, I think, you know, it might not be a good. I would drive it around in the field and like get it up close to the water, and then get off of it, and then have somebody bring a chair and sit in a chair because that thing would definitely put me in the water. And yeah, I would need to like be towed. I would need to like get a chain and tow that thing out of the water. I'm pretty sure at 137 pounds, those guys could pull that out of the water. Yeah, that would be funny though. That would make for a good video. You wonder about how much like that's the thing. Like this is such a weird world now with people's obsession with self and making videos and stuff. It's like there's so many fake videos on there. You know, it, I think there's a video of somebody like stapling their testicles that circulated for a while. They like took the not their testicles. That would be really yeah. That's insane asylum shit. This is like you know, just mental ward type stuff. I think somebody like stretched out the skin of their scrotum and like stapled it with a staple gun to uh, something, and it made its rounds on social media or something like that. I think there's people that's actually shot themselves with a 25 trying to go viral. You know, they caught a virus trying to go viral. Yeah, there's been shit like that. So you wonder about how many things that you see on the internet that are actually fake. That is probably the only reason why anybody would watch this is because you know this isn't fake. It's not interesting enough to be fake. So you know that like okay, this dude is real. And speaking of that sort of thing, it's like I could get my brother the a GoPro and like just filming. Yeah, crippled guy runs scooter into pond, you know, just to get views. But I think people do that to get money. Um, I don't know what the famous one is. There's a famous one involving some sort of animal cuteness or something that yeah, I don't know what it was that got a crazy amount of views. If you can get enough views, you can get sponsors. If you get sponsors, you can get money. So that's why you have people like whoring themselves on here. Subscribe, click the notification bell, make my channel grow so I can make money. Now, I don't mind that when people put work into stuff. Like this guy, I'll give him a plug, the Horror Geek. All right, he does something that's not all that original, but he puts a lot of effort into it. He's actually pretty funny. And he has to do some work. He has to use editing software. He has to actually watch these horrible movies, and he has to write jokes. He's putting some work in there. So, occasionally I'll slide him a few dollars. And anybody that's putting some effort into their stuff. But if you're just on there reacting to a song and like begging for money, it's like, come on, man. That's lame. Like, go out on the street like a proper panhandler. Get you a sign. By the way, we passed panhandlers. They had a sign. I swear to God, it was a paragraph, man. It should have had an indentation at the top. It was a paragraph, and it's like, listen, man, I ain't reading your damn sign, but I'll tell you what, if you read it to me, I'll give you $1. It's like, I don't know what all that sign said, but apparently, um, the COVID situation has created like problems in this area. As I this is what I've heard is like, if you're hooked into the system, you can suck on the government teat there and get your daily fill pretty easily nowadays. This is what I've heard. I don't know shit about the world we live in nowadays. Like I told the aid worker, this is how things used to be when I used to be a human being. When I used to be a human being shopping at drugstores and buying batteries was a bad idea. So please take these batteries that cost $14 back to Rite Aid. Okay? So I don't know how things are really are because I'm just trapped in my own little bubble here. And but I'm seeing the few times that I've been out, I've been seeing a lot more people with signs that appear to be homeless people. In we passed through Canton, uh, Canton, you know, the bad town that I talk about, not Massillon, the boring town that I talk about. Um, Damn it! Stop itching! Stop it! Scratching it doesn't work. Maybe beating it will work. Anyways, I don't know if that's like because the COVID thing has enhanced the homelessness thing, or I don't know. I think like the homeless people that I've run into have all been crazy as shit. So I think most of the homeless people are emotionally unstable people that can't. It's not that they don't have jobs, it's that they are not right in the head or they're not functional. Like I would have been a homeless person. Like I am basically the only thing that saved me from homelessness is getting a tumor and getting Social Security. I would definitely be a homeless person because I was taught nothing about life. I alluded to this earlier when I started talking about playing the guitar. I play guitar in a very fucked up, nonsensical way because nobody taught me how to do it. I had to try to figure it out for myself, and I didn't figure right. I figured wrong. So I play guitar totally wrong. So, you know, if nobody teaches you about life and they fuck up your head emotionally, you're gonna end up homeless because you don't have the tools to cope, you don't know how to get help, and you don't have anybody to help you. So I would definitely have been a homeless person. I don't know. Trying to think. I probably would have got on Social Security for mental illness. yeah, they probably would have considered me mentally ill. So I probably would have got on Social Security even if I didn't have the tumor. Um, yeah, which I could go into a whole thing about that, but I don't feel right talking about that person in that fashion. A little bit too personal. But yeah, there's just been like a lot more homeless people out there, and they talk about like this homeless problem that we have, but I just think that there's a lot of people that are just not right in the head. I think, and that have, you have emotional issues. You want to drown the pain, so you use drugs, and drugs will fuck you up worse, make you worse, and then put you in also dire straits where you need money to get well, not be sick. So you're on the street and you're panhandling money for alcohol or whatever substance it is that's your problem. Um, my aid worker was talking about this. It was called something like, we'll call it Kavanaugh House. It's called something like that. But she said it used to be a house set up for different reason, but now it's like a halfway house for mentally ill people. And so she's herding them back to, she's like somebody that's like, should mellow out on the Good Samaritan type helping people shit. She's like herding people back, and they're like, "What are you doing out here?" She knows they're not. It's, they're she. They're like, "I'm looking for a beer," and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna take you back to Kavanaugh House." They're like, "I don't want to go there. That's a terrible place. I want a beer." They don't have any beer in Kavanaugh House. I mean, I don't know if it's. She said she didn't know, so that's why I don't know. It's like I think a lot of mentally ill people are there, and I'm like, maybe it's like a halfway house. It's like maybe it's like for people that have trouble like functioning on their own. There's a lot of reasons why people can't function on their own. Like I think I was always sane, just emotionally twisted. If that makes any sense, it's like I didn't have any problem distinguishing reality. I had a problem dealing with reality. I couldn't deal with it. It's like things that did not bother other people bothered the shit out of me. Like couldn't handle it because of being raised and the way I was raised, and then not being taught anything, and also like just generally feeling inferior. I always felt like inferior, like these people are normal people, and I'm all fucked up. I like knew that from an early age. Like I said earlier in the video, just from going to other people's houses, I'm like, this is how normal people live. Oh, this is why I can't sleep at night. You know, this is why I'm a 12-year-old with an insomnia and severe anxiety. Okay, you know, it's not because I was born with a mental illness. It was because born we're in a place where people roll off of roofs and almost get shotgunned to death. That's and that's the people that we like. So um, anyways, so that's my rap about homelessness and mental illness, and tying it into my own situation and past. Because I've often thought about that the only thing that ever separated me from being a homeless person is a little tiny government check that I got. Because there's no way I could function around regular folks and like be at a job on time. It's like with my brain spinning away like it does. Like, oh, what did that person mean by that? Did I do bad there? Because that's like when you grow up in a household with crazy people, you're trying to read the emotional weather like all the time because the consequences to getting that shit wrong were pretty dire. So, but you can't live your life like that. You can't work like, say, as a clerk, and like people say shit to you, and you have to sit there and think about it. You just move on to the next person, and you just, water off a duck's back, whatever nonsense they say. But with me, when I would like go to school, I'd be like trying to read the room, and there was just like too many variables. It's like, trying to understand, like, how should I act here? You know, it's like other people are just being kids because they don't have to worry about being murdered. So, like, you know, it's like, how do I act? What do I do here? What's acceptable? What's normal? I don't know. You know, and you're already like outside of yourself where other kids are just being kids and going about and acting, you know, naturally and normally, and not they're not separating themselves into two people, the mental, intellectual, mind person and the physical being. They're just, those two are just pretty closely stacked together. That's why it takes years for people to develop impulse control. I had impulse control probably before I could speak. Probably was offered a pacifier and thought of the repercussions of this. Will my mom be insulted if I use this pacifier instead of her nipple? Will that make her feel bad? Should I go with the pacifier or should I reject it? I don't know. That's one thing you can count on for me is hearing things that you've never heard before. You'll hear a lot of things that you've heard before from me, a lot of things that you've heard before from other people, but you will at some point hear something or a thought that you have never heard expressed before, and I guarantee you that one's a new one to 99.9% of you. But yeah, that's what it's like growing up in a crazy household where you got crazy, unstable people who have mental illnesses and who are not consistent and do not behave in a rational fashion, is you have to read their moods, because one day you can spill coffee on their shoes and they will laugh at you. The next day they will fucking kick your ass. So you have to figure out, what kind of day is this? Is this the kind of day where it's safe to, you know, just exist? Should I leave the house and go to another county? Should I stay in the house? Will I piss the guy off by leaving the house? Will I stay, if I stay around the guy and talk to him, will it be safe to talk to him? Or will this be one of those times where I have to sit and listen to him spew his guts out, much as you have, for like a couple of hours? And I can't say anything about it because he's just using me as a receptacle for his words. Yeah, I am an ear condom. He's just splooging with a bunch of verbiage. It's just fucking horrible. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I like to have conversations with people. I know this is not a conversation we're having right now, but I do like to have conversations with people. I always, when I talk to people, like, I know from talking to my aid worker today, I know that her daughter just had a serious operation. Uh, it was an embolism that could have been much worse than it was. The ER doctor told her to go back to work, like within days of having this serious surgery. And I'm like, that's too soon. And then she had a problem at work. Her regular doctor said, "Who told you to go back to work?" And she's like, "The ER doctor." "I'm your doctor, not the ER doctor." See, I know all this shit because I asked the questions. I know she's got a bad back. I know she doesn't know how she got the bad back. I know that her niece was crying on her shoulder about the death of her mother, which is not helpful to her. I know all these things because when I talk to people, I have conversations. My dad did not have conversations unless it was about very fluffy, light surface matters. You do not want to get deep with my dad. You did not want to do that. So if he would have a deep conversation, that's, you shut the fuck up and you listened. That's just, that was the way you survived these conversations. You, and but you could ask him questions and he would answer questions. But if you went to places that he didn't like, it was not a lot of fun. I think I got some what's that stuff? Hydrocortisone cream to put on there. So, anyways, so that should give you enough Steve to hold you over for a while. hopefully I did okay. I'm sorry I haven't been around, but like I said, I get tired of not having anything interesting to talk about. I'll get back to you, I promise, early next week. Let you know how my fishing trip went. Let you know if I got on the blue scooter. And if I can get that camera going, I will take you with me on my fabulous adventure of riding the blue scooter from one city to another down the main drag. And we'll see. Scooters are real quiet, which is a cool thing about them. So, I could probably have a conversation, but maybe not because of the wind drag, because wind and GoPros don't mix. So that probably won't work. But yeah, I'll try to make some better content uh, as a payback to the maybe 2 dozen loyal followers that I have. I'll try to do better. Uh, you know what? I get sick of myself. So if you get sick of yourself, it's like, other people get sick of listening to the same old shit. And I wish I had different stuff to tell you, like, hey, guess what? You know, I bent my knee all the way back today. No, no, my knee still don't bend. I still have to use the camel clutch to bend my leg up and put a sock on. It's still the same horrible existence. It's not really getting any better. But yeah, that's like I said. That's why I've been around, and I've said that like I don't know 8 times now. So yeah. All right, I want to take myself away from you now. I was gonna say something else, like you know, at some point I do feel disgust with myself because it's such a self-indulgent activity to sit there and listen to yourself talk for even though I know I'm doing it for sort of the benefit of other people, it's still just me here in a room talking to myself. And at some point, it just, yeah, I get filled with self-loathing, and I was about to say that, so I said some other stupid, dishonest shit. When really, it's like, yeah, I don't know. See, now I have to think of some way to end this on a more positive note than that. But I've been cheerful most of the video, so hey. And plus, who the hell's with me this long anyway? It was a long video, man. I knew I was going to make a long video because I had so much damn energy and nothing to do with it. And a lot of times this tires me out and I'll go to sleep. I have to listen back. I know that I said my aid worker's name. I guess it really doesn't matter. Uh, I have to go back and listen to make sure that I don't say anything that's goes too far as being too personal. I check myself during the video, like I did when I was going to talk about somebody's mental illness, which would have been an improper thing, at least in my view, to do. Even though if you have mental illness or anxiety, usually it's not your fault. So, you know, it's really nothing to be ashamed of, but other people's shame is, yeah, just because I'm not ashamed of it, it's the fact that I have issue upon issue. I can't speak to them other people, and it's their business. And I spill a lot of other people's business on here. I shouldn't anyway. But what are you going to talk about besides other people? Well, I'm going to talk about forestry service. I'm going to talk about animals. I'm going to talk about how much I hate birds, how I like predatory birds, and how much I like to kill this one bird out here that sits outside my window. It's like, come up with a new fucking song. Say the same shit over and over again. Damn. So, anyways, yeah, I want to take me and my self-loathing and go elsewhere. I can't, uh, yeah, I can't think of any funny joke. I haven't heard any funny jokes lately, so I can't think of anything funny or anything positive to end this on. Other than like, I'll be back around, and you know, if you enjoy this for whatever reason, there'll be more to come. I'm not dead yet. I haven't given up. Uh, so yeah. As a matter of fact, not only have I not given up, I am trying different things like going fishing, riding the blue scooter. Uh, what else? I'm about to be trying to reduce my volume intake. It's going to be hot and nasty, but and not good hot and nasty. I'm going to try to lift weights. Get this white chair that the lady gave me. You can probably see the top of it right there. It's got a box of football. I'll show my fat stomach, damn it. It's got a box of football cards on it at the moment that I was sorting through yesterday. But yeah, I'm actually trying to walk around and trying to do different things. I'm thinking about making an eye appointment and asking my aid worker to go with me on it and getting an eye exam. I know you can do that with a phone nowadays, but I don't know how to do that. She says she could help me with it. You need somebody to help you with it to hold the phone a certain length away from your eye or something. But yeah, I'll just go in somewhere. That'll make me feel better, like I'm having contacts, not having glasses, and having a new pair of glasses for one thing. And actually having a prescription where I can see better. That's always weird when you don't go to the doctor. It's kind of uplifting and depressing at the same time because, like, wow, man, I can see like much better. Wow, my eyes got much worse. So it's a double-edged sword. But yeah, so I'll be around and I'll still be trying. I'll still make long videos that will take up a portion of your day and will either bore the shit out of you so you can go to sleep or mildly amuse you. So there's that. Goodbye. Thanks for putting up with me.